children. Welcome you all to another interesting English lesson on Guru Getara. Today we have Miss Indira to teach you. Hello Miss Indira.
Hello Miss Vatsala.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm fine too. What are we going to teach our children today, Miss Indira?
Actually, today our children are going to engage in telephone conversations, or they will learn how to engage in a telephone conversation in a methodical manner, Miss Vatsala.
Is that so?
So, telephone conversations are, we categorize them into two categories. They are informal and formal telephone conversations. So, informal telephone conversations are for personal purposes, or it is mostly among your friends or family. But formal telephone conversations are between some official officers or for some official purposes. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So, now we will see how an informal telephone conversation can take place. Shall we, Miss Vatsala?
Yes.
Okay. But before actually listening to a telephone conversation between two friends, I have prepared an activity for you. I think now you can see it on the screen. This is a telephone conversation between two friends. Now look at this activity. You have to listen to the telephone conversation that we are going to play now, and you have to fill the blanks, and the words are given on this right side small box. The words are friend, Kate, mother, later, badminton, 2 o'clock, Kate again, home, park, mic and message. So the purpose of giving the activity before you listen to the telephone conversation is to get an idea what you are going to listen to. Now you can see this is a telephone conversation between Mike. Can you see, Miss Vatsala, the word Mike here?
Yes, it is given there.
Yes, Mike spoke to his friend. So this is between Mike and his friend. So shall we listen to the telephone conversation?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Yes. Now you listen to the telephone conversation between Mike and Kate. But before Mike actually speak to Kate, he spoke to Kate's mother. So shall we move on to the activity that we have given you? Listen to the telephone conversation and complete the paragraph. Okay? So you have to use the words given in the right hand side of your slide. So this friendly telephone conversation took place between, can you remember, children? Yes, Kate and Mike. Miss Vatsala, can you remember?
Yes.
Okay. At first, Mike spoke to his friend's
mother.
She told him that
Kate
was not at
home.
Mike didn't want to leave any
message.
Yes. So we'll move on to the rest of the activity. Yes. When he called back, yes, later he managed to speak to his
friend.
Mike invited her to play
badminton
in the
park.
They decided to meet at
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So children, I think you can very well remember this is a friendly telephone conversation between Mike and Kate. They were planning to play badminton at 2 o'clock in the park. So this is an informal telephone conversation that is between two friends. And remember, I told you informal telephone conversations can take place among friends as well as relatives, right? So we'll move on to the next activity and see whether you can identify something new in this particular telephone conversation. Shall we, Miss Vatsala?
Yes, of course.
Yes. So you have to read the following telephone conversation first. Now Miss Vatsala and myself are going to act this out. Miss Vatsala, whom do you like to be?
Shall I be Maya?
Yes, of course. So then I'll be Auntie Ramani.
Okay.
Right. Hello, Maya. This is Auntie Ramani speaking from Australia.
Hi, Auntie. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How's everybody at home, Maya?
We are all fine. Thank you, Auntie.
Is your mother at home? Can I speak to her, please?
Amma has gone to the supermarket to buy some goods. But my father is at home. Shall I call him?
No, it's okay. I need to speak to your mother. Can you please ask her to call me when she comes back?
Sure. I will pass the message to Amma.
Thank you, Maya. Say hello to everyone for me.
You're welcome, Auntie. I will. Take care. Bye.
Bye. So, children, I think you can remember this is a telephone conversation between Maya and Auntie Ramani. So, Auntie Ramani has been calling from Australia and Maya is answering the phone. So, she or the Auntie Ramani wants to speak to Maya's mother, and while asking about Maya's mother, she inquires about all the other family members as well, right?
Yes, and the other thing is, Miss Indira, now in the telephone conversation, Maya has used the word Amma instead of saying mother.
Yes. Actually, that is a very good point our Vatsala Miss reminded, because in Sri Lankan context we can use some Sinhala words in the language that we are learning or in the English language. There's no harm doing that. So I hope our children also will understand why we have used Amma instead of mother in this particular telephone conversation. Okay?
Yes.
Right. Shall we move on to the activity now? Yes. Now what you have to do is complete the following activity by providing short answers. Shall we see what are the questions that you have to provide short answers, Putala? Who called Maya?
Auntie Ramani.
From where did she call?
From Australia.
To whom did Auntie Ramani want to speak?
To Maya's mother.
Yes, so these are some of the questions. We'll move on to some more. Did she manage to speak to Maya's mother?
No, she didn't.
Yes. What was the message that Maya promised to pass to her mother?
To talk back Auntie Ramani.
Yes, or else we can say to call back Auntie Ramani. So now children, this is a telephone conversation given to you where you have to read and provide short answers as this. Now we'll move on to a textbook activity. So this is activity 3 on page 95. This is a telephone conversation between Pawan and his uncle who is in Dubai. Complete the blanks using the utterances in the box and practice it in pairs. So after completing the utterances, what you have to do is you have to practice. Remember, if you practice only, you can master the skill.
Excuse me, Miss Indira. Now, as our children are at home, they won't find any friend to practice at home. So, shall we suggest them to have their two hands, and one hand can be one person and the other hand can be the other person, so that they can take roles and they can practice the telephone conversation.
Yes, see children, Miss Vatsala came up with a very good idea. So take your two fingers, one finger can be one character, the other finger can be the other character, and practice it. Shall we? Okay. Yes. Whom do you like to be, Miss Vatsala?
Here also, shall I be Pawan?
Yes, of course. So I'll be Uncle Ravi. Yes. Hello, Pawan. This is Uncle Ravi.
Hi, Uncle. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks. How is everybody?
We are all fine. Thank you.
Pawan, is Grandpa at home? Can I speak to him, please?
Grandpa is taking a nap. Shall I wake him up?
No, it's okay. How is he? I hope he is in good health.
Yes, he's fine. He takes his medicine regularly and he is very careful with his diet.
Good. He needs exercises as well. Pawan, why don't you encourage him to take a short walk in the evenings? Perhaps you can accompany him.
Sure, that will be fun.
Yes. Now children, this is a textbook activity. So take your textbooks with you and take a pencil or a pen or an extra paper and try this exercise in a given piece of paper or in a book. Then Miss Vatsala, our children can practice it more accurately and you can get used to the language and master the language and the skill as well, isn't it?
Yes, I think you all can practice, my dear children, with the two hands and it will be adding you much more fun.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So shall we move on to the other part of the lesson? Yes. So after talking with Uncle Ravi, we have some more to discuss. So Uncle Ravi says, thanks son, say hello to everybody for me and tell grandpa that I called. I'll call him again tomorrow if I have time.
I'll tell him, Uncle Ravi. Bye.
Bye. So this is how they end the telephone conversation. So in between the telephone conversation, we were giving you some advices. So don't forget to complete the whole activity, children. Right? So Miss Vatsala, shall we move on to our next activity?
Yes, I think now it's high time to move on to another activity.
Yes. And remember, as this lesson is on telephone conversations, I know our children are very surely interested in knowing how to do a telephone conversation in an accurate and a proper manner, because this is a skill that all of us need every day in our lives now. Right? Okay, shall we? Yes, so as we have been talking about informal telephone conversations, it is high time now we move on to formal telephone conversations, because you know we are using the telephone skills not only between ourselves or among our friends or relatives. Sometimes, though we are children, you may be having instances where you have to speak on official purposes, aren't they, Miss Vatsala?
Yes. For example, suppose they want to give a call to their principal madam or sir at school.
Their class teacher?
Yes. So, that telephone conversation is definitely an official conversation, an official telephone conversation. It's not a friendly dialogue between the two friends.
Yes. So now we'll move on to the telephone conversation that we have planned for you. This is a telephone conversation takes place in an office. Shall we have a look, Miss Vatsala?
Yes, of course, we'll go.
Yes, and while you are listening, please look at the other side of the slide. You are getting some information.
Good morning, Christine Phelps' office. This is Grace Johnson. How may I help you? Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Phelps is in a meeting right now. Would you like me to transfer you to her voicemail, or may I take a message? Certainly. May I get your name? Would you spell that for me, please? And your company name? And a phone number where you can be reached? And what message may I pass on? Okay, let me make sure I have this correctly. It's Gary Bertolli of Bertolli & Sons, and that's spelled B-E-R-T-O-L-L-I. And you would like to reschedule your meeting on Tuesday the 21st, and your phone number is 413-555-9962. Thanks, Mr. Bertolli. I'll make sure that Ms. Phelps gets this message as soon as she comes out of her meeting. Thanks again for calling. Bye.
Yes. So this is a telephone conversation which took place at an office. So here somebody has called this particular office, and see the way this lady answered the phone, Miss Vatsala.
Yes. In an official telephone conversation, my dear children, you have to be very polite and very courteous to the speaker.
And you have to be very careful when you are taking down the information. See the way this lady asked to spell the name, because you had to be very careful about spelling the names, getting the telephone numbers, and so many things, because this is not among friends, this is a total stranger talking to a certain company. So with this, we have prepared a small activity. So I hope our children can remember what this lady has been talking to the customer or the other person while she engages in the telephone conversation. So this is the activity. Listen to the above telephone conversation and complete the sentences with the given phrases. So listen carefully. I ask you to listen carefully. Shall we check the answers?
Yes.
And the answers are given down. The given phrases are given. So shall we check, children? Yes. This is Grace Johnson. How?
May I help you?
Number 2. I'm sorry, Miss Phelps
Is at a meeting right now.
May I?
Get your name.
What message?
May I pass on?
And the caller's phone number is
413-555-9962.
yes, 413-555-9962. So this information we have taken by listening to the telephone conversation we have played you earlier. So this is a telephone conversation among two unknown persons, maybe, or in an office. So shall we move on to another formal telephone conversation, Miss?
Yes, I think we have to give them some opportunities to listen to such telephone conversations.
Yes. For that, here, we have a telephone conversation given to you. As you have listened now, this is total different one. Okay. So this is, you have to think now, okay, this is a formal telephone conversation. So you have to think what are the most relevant phrases to fill these blanks to make it a complete telephone conversation. So there are some phrases given, and down the answers are given. Here, know your Janata, morning, speak to Mr. Fernando, be online, put you through. So shall we check our hand in this, Miss Vatsala?
Yes, I think it's time to go through the dialogue and the answers.
Yes. Good.
Morning.
Star Apparels.
Can I speak to Mr. Fernando, please?
May I?
Know your name, please.
This is Kumara from
Janata Enterprises.
Yes. So, yes.
Be online, please.
I'll check if he's in the seat.
Okay, thank you.
He's in the seat. You can speak to him. I'll
put you through.
Thank you for your cooperation.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, see the way. This is not something like between two friends. Very formal, in a very polite manner, they are talking. So, now we have a special recording or a video. This is very important because when we talk in official matters, sometimes they say answering machine or voicemail, these words are being taken place. So, we'll see how you can handle an answering machine if you have put through to an answering machine. Shall we, Miss Vatsala?
Yes, we'll go for that.
Yes.
answering machines, and voicemail. It is not uncommon to get through to the voicemail of someone you are trying to get hold of. In this case, you will need to understand some of the phrases that you are likely to hear. You have reached the voicemail of Mr. Johnson. Please leave a message. Once you have finished recording, you can hang up. Press 1 to leave a message, or press 2 to be transferred to another department. Please leave your message after the tone. Hi, you have reached my voicemail. Please leave a message and I will return your call as soon as possible.
Yes. So these are some of the new terms that you should know. So please listen to them carefully and try to get your knowledge upgraded. So with that, we have another exercise where you have to be very good at. So if you are using the phone, you should know these terms. Okay? So there are 15 sentences with the given words. These are the words: answer the phone, busy, call, country code, dial, extension number, hang up, message, mobile phone, operator, pay phone, phone number, ring, text, wrong number. So shall we check the, yes. Number 1, did you remember to call the manager and arrange a meeting? So I will be reading the sentence. Miss, can you put the answers with our children?
Yes, sure.
When I called him, he was already talking on the phone with another person. The phone was
Busy.
I'm sorry, but John isn't here right now. Can I take a
Message.
Another way to say cell phone is
Mobile phone.
Did you hear the phone?
Ring.
The
Country code.
for Australia is 61. I can hear the phone ringing. I should
Answer the phone.
When you finish talking on the phone, you should
Hang up.
the phone. Mrs. Greens, I'm sorry, but there's no one here by the name. I think you have the
Wrong number.
If you have any trouble calling an international number, call the
Operator.
and ask for help. First, call Mr. Smith at this company number, then dial 459. 459 is his
Extension number.
Yes. Of course, it's always dangerous to talk on the phone or
Text.
while you drive a car. Hey, look, there's a
Payphone.
outside. Let's use it to call a taxi to the airport. My
Phone number.
is 555-8742. How can you
Dial.
a phone number? It's easy. Just push the correct numbers here. So children, with that, we have learned how to engage in a telephone conversation in 2 different ways. One as a formal way, the other one as the informal way. Formal way is for official purposes, whereas informal way is in a very friendly manner. So please try to rewind this program and get the answers again. Try your hand in this exercise. I think that's enough for today, isn't it, Miss Vatsala?
Yes, I also think so. So children, hope you all have enjoyed today's lesson. We have engaged in telephone conversation. You can watch it again when you log on to channel NIE, the YouTube channel of the NIE, and you can learn them and you can revise it again and again to make you thorough in telephone conversation. So, until we meet again, stay safe at
And
home.
be happy.
Goodbye.